morning of final day of the training program on technology management, that is 26th February 2016 and Friday. And I welcome all the centers, all the participants at all the centers to this first session of the final day of the training program. I welcome GSS Academy of Technical Education Noida. I welcome Government Women Polytechnic College Sangani Jaipur. I welcome Gyan Jyoti Group of Institutions Banur. Then Ram Devi Jindal Group of Institution Lalru. Then Vidya College of Engineering Meerut. So today we have with us Shri Ravinder Singh ji. There is a slight change in the time schedule that we made yesterday evening. Since Ravinder was also out to an event, startup event called Surge that was conducted in Bangalore. So it is kind of a where entrepreneurs can display their ideas, put forth their ideas, and have meetings with the investors. So earlier we had an interaction that he will be having a session on Thursday evening, but we realized that it will be very tough for him to join NITTTR. So we had it today 11:30 to 1. But again, he has to look after his official engagements also, his team also. Since it is Saturday, they must be leaving to their hometown also. So we decided that I requested and we mutually decided that we will have this session in the first half of the final day of the training program. So first we will have the session on leveraging technology for offering solutions to niche market and experiential learning. Then we will have just a half an hour capture by me on technology acquisition and exploitation, because indirectly I have designed the program in such a way that all the things that needs to be covered under technology acquisition and exploitation, it has already been covered. So we will just have a summary point of view. Summary of the technology acquisition and exploitation point of view. So we will be having this session from 10 to I feel so 11:15. Then 11:15 to 11:30 or 11:40 I will be having 20-25 minutes on technology acquisition and exploitation. And after that we will break for 15 minutes say tea. And by before 12 we wish that we start with our valedictory session, so that you also are free from the day and you can carry on with your activities. And also Dr. Dameja has also to leave for some urgent work. So at 12 o'clock, before 12 o'clock, he will be with us for some time for taking the feedback of the training program. So this was the schedule that we will be carrying out in that today's date. So now we come back to the session. It is on leveraging technology for offering solutions to niche market, and we have with us Ravinder Singh ji, who is managing director with Mindfield Software Solutions Private Limited. He is a CSC graduate, an engineer who passed out from Thapa University Patiala in 2006. He has as on date 10 years of his work experience in industry, out of which 7.5 years of business experience is in his running own enterprise. So that is the wonderful part of it. I love to interact with him, share many things, discuss many things with him, because he has practical insights into the present day's needs and what can be the solutions to capture that, and what are how to tap the business opportunities therein. So without taking any much time, I welcome Ravinder ji to this platform, and I request him to engage the session with you.
Thank you, Amardev sir. I hope everybody can hear us all properly.
GSS Academy of Technical Education Noida, are you with us? Are you able to hear to us? Mic. GSS Academy of Technical Education Noida. You are getting our voice? Yeah. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Then we come to Government Women Polytechnic College, Sangani, Jaipur. You are with us? Perfect. They are with us, Hannah, I hope.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. You are hearing us? Just raise your hand. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Mic is not working, but I am getting that you are able to hear us. Okay. Then Gyan Jyoti Group of Institutions, Banur. You are getting us? Okay, yes, thank you. Then Ram Devi Jindal Group of Institutions, Lalru.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Vidya College of Engineering, Merit. Okay. Okay. Thank you. We start
All
with
right.
you.
Thank you, Amardev sir, for this introduction. Um, I'll add a few more things about what I have been doing in last 7, 8, 10 years. I have a total 10 years of work experience, which includes almost 7.5 years of business experience. After my graduation, I went to Gurgaon for almost 2 years, and after that, I started my own venture. Um, I have some experience with working for clients from the US on projects which are uh, not kind of simple projects, but projects which are the backbone of the companies when they run their own business. Um, then we also have some experience on interacting with educational institutes in the Punjab region, because most of the talent we bring in into our companies come from these educational institutes. Then I have experience in building products, and I have been associated with teams who have been building products. And almost from 3 4 years of this kind of an experience, there are a few things which I'll be sharing with you in this session today. Very recently, on 23rd and 24th, I was at a startup conference by the name Surge at Bangalore, which was kind of an eye opener for me also, and for almost all the new startups which are present there. And we learned so many things about the markets, the how the investors look at startups, how technology people look at startups, what kind of mistakes we people make when we work on startups, advice we got on marketing our ideas, taking it forward to investors, to the audience, and how to engage the audience with our products. So with a mix of all these things, I will try to cover uh, you know I will try to share my ideas with you, and it will be great if you people can just stop me in between, ask your questions, so that it becomes a more interactive session. um, the knowledge I'll be sharing, I will try to relate this knowledge to the educational institutes, so that some kind of this knowledge you people can easily go and use for your own projects, which you might be doing in your colleges, or you might plan in future for taking up such projects for your institutions. Last time I came here for a couple of sessions, so I spoke about the product we are working on, which is to bring together the education sector and the companies. So we call it as a skill development and an intelligent hiring platform. So when we say intelligent hiring, it means that we offer a platform to companies from where they can hire students with the promise that there will be a huge reduction in the effort level involved in that hiring process. So with all these kind of different experiences which I'll be sharing with you, I will be because I've been interacting with education institutes, I will be able to connect it with your domain, with your a set of projects which you might be taking up right now or maybe in the future. Also, when I last time I came here for a session, I had a session on steps to take up projects in your colleges, wherein you can start from the very beginning and build a team and then take the project to completion. uh, the title for today's presentation is Leveraging Technology for Offering Solutions to Niche Markets and Experiential Sharing. So whatever I have learned, I'll try to share with you. It took me quite some time to understand exactly what we mean by a niche market. How do we identify, how do we identify a market, and how do we think what kind of solutions they might need, and how then we build those solutions and then take those solutions uh, to that market. Uh, so I'll start with the understanding of what a product is and why do we need a product. Um, um, if ma'am, excuse me, if I interact with them, so they'll be able to real time talk back to me. I um, Ji. Right, right. All right. So I would like to start with giving an understanding of what a product is, and how we people in the industry especially technical people, we go about thinking about a product and from where we start and what steps we take in the very beginning of this whole process. Um, so to define what a product is, it's basically a solution to a problem, right? When I say a problem, it does not mean that we go out and look for problems. When I say problem, I mean that we experience it ourselves, these kind of issues, and then we try to come up with a solution, and majority of the time this solution is what we feel will be the best suited solution for this problem. So majority of the companies I meet, or majority of the entrepreneurs or the startups I meet, they have by themselves experienced such problems, and then they come up with the solutions. At the conference I visited, uh, the startup which was awarded the best startup over there, they have been building wheelchairs and other kind of helpful tools for people with spinal injuries and people who are disabled to make their life easier. So they had some experience wherein they saw such kind of problems, and then 3 4 friends from an engineering college, they came together and they started building such tools, such wheelchairs, such beds for those physically disabled people. So when we think of a product, we think of a problem, and the problem is not something we go out and find. The problem is something we experience. In my case, I experienced a problem wherein there was a mismatch between the kind of projects we were getting from the US clients and the kind of team we had, and then we had to think of ways to not bring in people from outside, but to train our own team on those lines so that they can work on those kind of projects. So from our experience, we understood that okay, this is this problem and this is how there is one way to solve it, and then we started with a product that if this solution can apply to us, this solution can apply to others also. So first line says what is a product. So it's basically a solution to a given problem. How does the product idea originates? It originates from what we experience. uh, Over here I would like to take an example from educational institutes, especially in the Punjab region. When we interact with the colleges, when we interact with students, there is a term called live projects. So when students go out for trainings, the colleges are very much keen that students should be working on live projects, and students also want that they should be working on live projects so that they can gain good experience of the complete software development life cycle. I had interactions around 3 years back with one of the engineering colleges, and I stressed uh, on this point that students should definitely go for live projects. Then they had an internal exercise wherein the head of the institution, he asked all the departments to come up with a list of live projects which the students can take up when they go out for trainings. Uh, by chance, I was present at on one of those dates when this whole exercise was going on, and I was consulted by one of the department heads that what kind of projects in the industry the students should take up so that they can understand the complete software development life cycle and can match that knowledge with their education, and then their prospects for getting hired becomes better. My answer to the department head was that, sir, you don't need to look outside for such projects. You need to look inside. You need to look inside your institution. You need to talk to people inside your institution. You need to understand what kind of problems they are facing, and you need to come up with solutions to those problems. So a live project does not mean a project which is being done by some company outside. A live project basically means a project which solves a given which solves a problem which is being faced by people, and once completed, that project actually comes into use. So it's not a dummy project. It's not just to fulfill the requirement of yes, we need a project. So then he asked further, and I told him, I said, let's take an example of the transportation you have in your college. uh, where do you how do you manage this transportation, the diesel cost, the repair cost, all these things? So majority of the things you're doing is on paper. So you need to think of a solution to this, and you need to come up with a project. So when we start thinking about product development, or when we start educational institutes, when they start thinking about live projects, so what they need to understand is that the problems they are facing, they need to find out solutions to those problems. So then they will be coming up with applications which will not only be solving their problem, but will also be solving the problems of others in the same domain in which they are facing that problem. So when we think of a product, we think of a problem, and we don't go out and ask, what kind of problems are there in the world. We just look inside and see what experience we have, what kind of problems we have faced, and what kind of solutions should we be developing for those problems. Now, what is important is that how we take the whole process from basic definition of the problem, or basic narration of somebody telling us, yes, this is the problem I have, to the final product. So there is, it might take a lot to develop the solution for a problem, or it might be a simple enough, maybe 1 or 2 weeks process to solve that problem. But how do we take it from the idea stage to the final product stage, wherein that solution can be put to use? In the recent conference I visited, uh, there were heads from almost all big companies in India today: Flipkart, Quicker, Google. Everybody was given a chance there to interact with participants like us and share their ideas. The majority of these experienced entrepreneurs, the majority of them, they shared their views, and uh, majority said that the time taken from the idea stage, or understanding the problem stage, to developing a product and taking it to those people who want that solution should not be very big. The time should not be, so in other terms, the time to market should be very, very small. So when they say very, very small, they say they told us that it has to be an incremental process. It should not be that first you will sit and solve the complete problem, and then you will take the solution to your market, or to the people who want that solution. So it has to be a step by step. You first identify a problem, then you break it down into small maybe small parts, wherein you prioritize those parts, and then you start building a solution for that part. So taking it from the idea to the product stage, it has to be done in small steps, so that very in small intervals of time, that solution can be given to those people who actually want it. So once they start using that solution, they start giving us feedback. So when we are building the next part of that product, or the project, or the application, we also get feedback from the first part. So incremental building of applications also helps in getting feedback, in connection with taking that solution to the audience, and they are using it, they are giving us feedback, we are building the next part, we implement their feedback also, and then we give the second part also to the audience. So once we identify the problem, we try to come up with the solution, but it has to be done in a step by step manner. Now talking about the niche market. So it took me around 1.5 to 2 years to understand exactly what a niche market is, and the same is with the majority of the entrepreneurs, or majority of the startups I met in the conference. So we were not very much clear about what a niche market is, and how do we define our own market, and how do we start then interacting with that market. So maybe the first thing which comes to mind when we say niche, it means, this is from my experience, that some kind of set which is elite. So but in case of products, or in case of solutions to problem. When we talk about niche market, it means a set of people who actually need that solution. So when we build applications, or when you people take up projects in your college, you have to identify a set of people who are actually facing that problem, and then build a solution for them. So you don't build a solution for everybody, you build a solution for the people who actually face that problem. So if I talk about uh, the educational product on which my team is working, so we had this idea that this product will be helping all type of students. But I met one of the startups at the conference, and I asked him that how will they reach different kind of different type of students in the market. And the answer that guy gave me was, he said we have not built this for everybody, so we have our own niche market, and we just want to solve their problem, so we are not building it for everybody. So it was quite a an eye opener for me and my team, and wherein when we came back, we decided that we first need to pick up one market, one set of people who actually need that solution, and then build it so strongly for them that they feel happy to use that product, and they feel satisfied that yes, it solves their problem. So when we talk about the niche market, it may be a very small group, it may be a very large group, but we need to focus on that group in itself. I attended a talk by one of the executives from Quicker, and I remember he mentioned in his talk, he said that it does not matter how big or small your market is, just try to dominate that market. So instead of building such kind of a product which is for everybody, and you stand nowhere in that large set of audience, it's better to just focus on a small audience, but build such a strong product for them that they feel happy, and then uh, they actually start marketing it by word of mouth, by telling people that yes, it solves the problem. So when applying this same concept onto educational institutes, uh, from my experience in the past, colleges, they are trying to build ERP systems, so wherein they want that they should have a software which basically solves all kind of problems they are facing when they perform day-to-day activities at their education institute. So if we keep this concept in mind about niche market, so we need to understand those people who are facing the problem, and then maybe create small teams, because educational institutes can afford this, because they have engineering graduates who are capable of you know of development of such applications. So small teams focusing on the solutions for different department, different people, but one set of maybe managers, like the teachers and the head of departments, can play that role. They monitor everything, that what is happening, they set the guidelines for those small applications or small solutions which they are building, and then they know that at the end how to bring them together and convert it into a big um, a big package, which is what they can then call an ERP system. So instead of going sequential in building solution one by one, so it's better to just focus on each of those set of audience which are facing those problems, and then build solutions for them. So if you identify that yes, your accounts department is facing this kind of a problem, and maybe some kind of a software application can help them overcome those problems, so then that small accounts department becomes your niche market. So then you think about solving a problem for that set of people, and when you take your solution to them, they might give you negative feedback that no, this is not solving a problem, but if you make these changes, it will start solving a problem. So maybe after 2 or 3 iterations, you come up with a solution for them, but once they say yes, it is solving a problem, then it becomes very easy to take that same solution and replicate it to all other set of people or set of audience which are working, or which are having the same problem. So niche market is, a small set, a big set, it can be any number, but they have a problem, and then we try to solve a problem. So we try to build a solution for them, not for everybody. We don't try to build a generalized solution, we try to build a very focused solution. My experience with some of the clients in the US in the past 8 to 10 years have been that their focus was on building a general solution which applies to everybody. Very recently, we uh, started with an application for one of the clients. So they wanted a mobile application wherein they could log in into their Office 365 accounts and then share files with their own clients. So they wanted that, from 365 accounts to 365 accounts, the files could be transferred. And they also said that it will be very good if maybe Google Drive could also be integrated, so that they might on their mobile phone see a particular file, and they might say that upload this file to Google Drive and share with these people. So their problem was very simple. But then when the solution, we started developing the solution for this, the client said it will be good if we can also do Amazon uh, cloud with this, and so that we can store and we can share files from there also, because some clients might have Amazon accounts also, then OneDrive account also, then maybe this drive also. So it became so complex that, and they started feeling that it should be a general solution. So for any type of of clients we are dealing with on, I mean, they started feeling that any type of people who will be working with them, they should be able to use the application for them. In the end, what happened, that the application went nowhere. So the technologies involved, the kind of effort involved, it became so complex that instead of solving at least one problem, it basically started solving many problems, and none of those solutions were perfect to the level that they could be used. So the time to market, basically development of that application and then putting it into use, became so huge, so large, that even the client lost interest in that whole effort. And in the end, although we got paid, but that solution was not used by anybody, because it was not being built for a small group of people, at least so that they feel happy about using that solution. It was being built for everybody, so that any type of user using the solution could get help with that solution. So this is some kind of mistakes we people make, but we have pressure from the client side that we need a general solution. So this is what we exactly need. So even if we try to explain it to them that it has to be for a small group, uh, many times we are not able to do that. But if you people take up projects in your institutions, it is important that you focus on the problems of a given small set of people. Mapping your product with the need of the audience is important. So that defines that first you identify the niche market, and then you start solving their problems. And don't build products for everyone, build it for your target audience. So this is something important we need to keep in mind. So to summarize this slide, a niche market is a set of people or a group, maybe small, maybe large, but they have a problem and we need to build a solution for them. Not that we understand their problem and then start you know uh, thinking with hypothesis that, oh, this kind of problem might also show up in future. If it is not showing today, it might show up in future, or these kind of people might also need the solution, and then trying to build a generalized package. That is not what should be done, because this is quite a big mistake, and it leads the whole product effort, the product development effort, almost nowhere. All right, so once you understand the problem, you identify your set, the audience for which you are, which has that problem, and you are trying to build a solution for them. The third step comes is the technology selection. When I say technology selection, it means that the set of tools or software which might be used for building a solution or building a product. um, because in today's time the open source has helped, has contributed so much for the industry that maybe the problem you are facing, or the problem your audience, or that set of people, that group of people are facing, it's important to first look for some solutions which have already been provided for that kind of a problem. So many times, you might not find a solution which is 100%, but you will definitely find a solution which is at least 15, 20, 25, 30%, or maybe 40%, even maybe 60, 70% close to what you need. So this helps in two ways. Number one, you get a point from where you can easily start, and number two, you can also see what kind of audience that product was built for, and maybe if further from your audience there is a group which needs those kind of features which are already present, they can start using those features even before you start developing the features for maybe the rest of the audience. So it's important that we look at the time to market for the solution we are building. If your admission department needs a software in the month of let's say June and July, when the admissions are taking place, you have no choice but to give this to them on time, because otherwise, even if you get it delayed by maybe 1 or 2 months, it will have no use for them for rest of the year, right? So the time to market is important. So it is important that you start looking for, at least spend some good amount of time in researching that whether such solutions are already present, um, uh, which you can use for solving that kind of a problem. Talking about educational institutes, uh, every educational institute has a need for um, a website. So when I say a website, they don't need a simple 8-10 page HTML website, a static website. They actually need a kind of a content management system which they can use for themselves, so that they can upload the content whenever they want, and they can also have some kind of an interaction with students, with teachers, everybody. So if we take this as a problem, then we know that solutions to such problems are already present. Maybe WordPress can help, maybe Joomla can help, or maybe some other content management system can help, which will provide almost 60, 70, or maybe 80% of the functionality which the institution needs, and the rest can then be developed with time. But at least the time to market reduces to a very large extent if we start using such pre-built solutions. So it's important to first research on what kind of solutions have already been built, and if they are free, they are open source, we should start using those solutions. At this point, I would like to mention that it's important to look for such solutions which are open source, because they give you a starting point to build your own functionality on top of those solutions, right? So the time to market is important. Consider using pre-built solutions before you build your own. Then build your product step by step. So don't try to build everything and then take it to your audience, because maybe by that time their problem will no longer be relevant. So talking about your admission department, so if they need a product, if they need an application in the month of June and July, so that is the time it has to be given to them. So once, if you take longer and you give it to them after those 2 months, it will be of no use to them. So it's important to build it in step by step, so that um, the audience starts getting some kind of solutions, and they start using them. The fourth point, use source control repositories and project management tools. So I wrote this point especially because I knew that the audience to which I'll be talking, they are from colleges, and my experience with some of the colleges who are building their own solutions is that they are not using any source code repositories, and they are not using any project management tools. um, so I wanted to bring this up because there is a different kind of a mindset which a team has to follow when they are working on software applications. In the industry, we people are maybe technical to a very advanced level because this is what we do 100% of the time. But students are not advanced to that level that they might understand how to build or how to write code which can be then used by other teams when once the current set of team members they graduate and they leave the college. So from my experience with some of the colleges, I keep telling them that you know your case in your case the team is very volatile. The team will not be sitting here with you for next 10 years. These students, they have to move out. So it is important that what they are doing is properly managed through some of the project management tools. The documentation has to be done, its testing has to be done. um, any kind of problem which is being faced, it has to be documented that this was the problem which was faced, and it has to be then fixed and then tested. So all those things. And secondly, the code has to be managed in proper code repositories. So when we talk of technology, source control is also an important technology which has to be adopted. um, Source controls like SVN, or Bitbucket, or like GitHub. These are good repositories, and they are very cheap. They are not very expensive. And if you start using SVN, it is easy to set up. It can be it can be installed on one of the machines in the college itself, and then the whole source code can be managed through this machine. So if as institutions, as colleges, you start thinking of building solutions for your own problems, and you start involving students and teachers into this process, it is important to manage it properly so that the code quality remains in acceptable levels, and uh, the what application was built, what features were added, all these things have to be documented properly. Any test cases, they have to be written properly, and all these things have to be maintained at one location in your college, so that once the current team moves out of the college, we start bringing in other students for working on the same application. They know what students before them they did in this application. Right now what I see is that the whole source code is present in the laptops with students themselves, and a student won't um, take that kind of a care for his or her laptop, uh, thinking that it contains something extremely important. So but if the college has it on its own servers, they know that this source code is basically the backbone of our day-to-day functioning, and we need to maintain it, we need to take a backup so that we don't lose this kind of a important source code. So technology selection, try to use some pre-built application so that you can build your own features on top of what has already been built. Try to use proper source controls to manage your own source code. Try to use proper project management tools so that what is being done on a day-to-day basis is documented, and the teams which will be working on the project in future can take help from that documentation and then understand. It will reduce your effort level of bringing in new people into the team, and it will keep everybody motivated to work on those applications, because they know that okay, this was already done and this is what we are supposed to do. I did not want to talk about uh, selection of languages for building applications or products like .NET or Java or PHP, because from our perspective, from the industry, people perspective, all these technologies are capable enough of doing any kind of work you want to do. So you have a choice for .NET, maybe you people can go for .NET. You have a choice for Java, you can go for Java, for PHP. All these technologies are mature enough, are good enough to build these solutions for you. But yes, the only difference is that maybe one of the technologies maybe let's say .NET in some cases might give you some pre-built features which can help you in taking the solution to the market in a lesser amount of time. But maybe in some other cases Java would be a good candidate for building the application, but it is at least for us in the industry. So this is not the point of a huge brainstorm. This is not a point where we do huge brainstorming on what exactly to use, because we know that any kind of solution which has to be built, all these technologies, all these programming languages are good enough, are stable enough to build or to give us those kind of features to help us build these solutions. So once we identify our niche market, we start building solutions for them, wherein we need to take help from technology and make sure we that you people manage your source code and day-to-day working of the project. It's properly documented using some kind of project management tools. All right, the last, I hope, yes, the last slide which we have, it talks about getting investments for your idea. Uh, Majority of the times, startups they think that by investment we mean money. Right? Investment does not always mean money. Much more than the monetary aspect of investment, the intellectual aspect of investment is important. So in the last almost 2 years, when we have been building our own product, we have benefited so much from negative feedback which we got from many experienced people, that by considering that negative feedback, we were able to actually do things which we thought in our own way, but we had no experience in deciding that what we are doing is exactly right or wrong. So the intellectual investment is very important. So talking about investments, so it's important to find people who have experience in solving those kind of problems, and they get connected with you so that they can give their inputs as feedback, or as maybe helping you in making a strategy, or in helping you uh, understand if some kind of a solution for this problem is already present which you can use. So these kind of things can be, you people can benefit from such investments by experienced people. So they might invest their time in you, they might come over for 1 or 2 days and sit with you and help you understand what you're doing and what has to be done. They might be just in touch with you to review what you are doing on a day-to-day basis and give their feedback and let you people know that what you're doing is right or wrong. In the startup conference my team visited, I clearly told them that more than you know uh, more important than running after investors for money, it is important that we talk to experienced people who have done good technology business, who know how to build solutions, who know how to market them, who know how to take the feedback from the audience in real time, who know how to then implement that feedback and then go out into the market at a very high speed. So I said it's important for us to build connections with these people, so that time to time we can ask them or request them for help. So one of the one of my team member, his job was to talk to such people and request them to give us some kind of guidelines and help, and his job was to build kind of a connection with them, so that in future we can be in touch with them through emails. So investments are important, and the most important thing from the investment perspective is the intellectual investment, because that is something which anybody will be ready to give you if he or she feels that what you are doing is actually solving a real problem. Then the second comes as the monetary aspect of investment. We had a very good experience talking to investors at the conference, and what we understood was that how to put forward our idea to them so that they feel that yes, this is actually something very good and we should be investing in this. um, uh, the second point I have in this slide is pitching your idea to an investor. So maybe 6 months back I had no idea about what a pitch exactly means. But today, after researching for almost 6 months, talking to my friends who are in investment companies, researching on Google, uh, today I understand that what pitch means and how do we take our idea forward to investors. In your case, maybe you will not be going out for looking for private investors. Maybe because you are educational institutes, you might build such solutions, or you might identify such problems which are being faced by majority of the educational institutes, and then go to your higher authorities, or even maybe to the government uh, with a solution for that kind of a problem, and then ask for maybe monetary help, for funds, for um, uh, for some maybe PhDs, some people with doctorate in those in that subject, and ask them for help when you are building that solution. So when we pitch our idea to some investors, it's important to understand your idea to that level that you can pitch it or you can explain it to somebody in less than 60 seconds. So if you are not able to explain your idea to somebody in less than 60 seconds, they will not be interested in understanding the whole idea. Nobody has time to sit with you for 5 hours and understand what you are trying to build. Maybe what you have in your head, you will not be able to transfer it exactly in the same manner into somebody's other some other person's head. So when you build your own solution, or when you teach students on how to build products, how to identify problems, how to build the solutions for them, uh, today's time students are very much interested and very much fascinated about startups, and they want to uh, build their own products, and they want to build their own companies on top of those products. uh, it's important, if you people interact with students, and for you also and your interaction with students also, that you explain them, you first guide them to go to Google and check about what a pitch is, how to write a pitch, how to create a pitch deck, how to create a presentation which has to be sent to investors or sent to any authorities which might be of some help to you. So once they understand that pitching is a very important part in the whole idea to product stage, and they need to understand that 60 seconds is the time we get to explain our idea to somebody. So before going to this conference, me and my team, we sat, we had a proper brainstorming session for almost 3 4 5 hours, distributed over almost 2 or 3 days, and we prepared something that could explain our concept in less than 15 to 20 seconds. So we then practiced it, and when we tried it on the first day of the conference, when we were exhibiting our product, we found that what we had done, um, the whole exercise of coming up with exactly what to say so that somebody understands our idea in 15 to 20 seconds, this exercise helped us so much that when we looked around at other startups who were exhibiting right next to us, they were not able to explain their idea to the visitors who were coming to their stands. So they actually started explaining them the idea from maybe some different perspective, and in 20 25 seconds, 30 seconds, that visitor was almost confused and was not able to understand the idea, and all they did was exchange each other's exchange visiting cards, and the visitors, they just moved to the next stand. But in our case, we experienced that on an average, these investors, on an average, these visitors onto our stands, they spent close to 7 to 8 minutes with us, because they were able to understand very quickly what we are doing, and then they were interested in understanding it a little better, and also framed questions which they wanted to ask us. So if we, let's say, would have failed in explaining what we are doing to them in 15, 20, or 30 seconds, they might not have had a longer conversation with us, or they might not have actually understood what kind of questions they should be asking us regarding our product. So it's important to understand how to pitch your idea uh, to the higher authorities, maybe in your case to the government, to the investors, to whomever you think, whosoever you think can be of some help to you. When you are explaining your idea to them, it has to be so crisp that in less than a minute it can be explained to that person or that authority. um, so the third point says go for seed investments to build and test your idea. When we say seed investments, it means the very initial effort which goes into building a product. So it might be the initial amount of money which goes into building that product or that solution, or it might be the initial intellectual capital that goes into building um, that solution. So that is the very initial investments is what we call as seed investments. Um, when we met investors and through this course of last 6-7 months when we were preparing for this conference, so we understood that seed capital is very small amount. So we no investor or no maybe authority will give you a huge amount of money just to experiment that idea, because if the experiment fails, that whole money, that big chunk of money goes wasted. So seed capital is very small capital, and we have less time to actually develop a solution, test it, and understand that yes, it actually solves the problem which we are trying to solve. We were told about I think Ola Cab's story. I don't remember. It was one of the cab companies' story that, if I remember correctly, they said that they spent almost 2 years, you know, establishing their own idea in one of the cities. If I remember correctly, they said in Delhi they spent almost two years experimenting with their idea, trying to figure out how to best serve the people, the problems they faced. Then they came up with good solutions for those problems. So once they were able to establish that yes, what we are doing it actually works, they replicated it into 17 more cities in the span of just 1 year, because they knew that yes, this solution works, and now it can be replicated to other cities. So when we are in that seed stage, and it is important that we build a solution and we test it with a small group, and once we know that yes, it works, then replicating it to other groups becomes very, very easy. So as an educational institute, if you build a team which gives you a small application which might help with your accounts, which might help your account department, or which might help your transport department, or which might help your admission department. So once you use it for 1 or 2 years and you know that this is a very stable application, it solves our problem exactly the way we wanted it to solve, you can easily share it uh, with other institutions who will be needing such kind of an application. And by this sharing, you can either earn money or you can build good relations with those institutions. So seed investments, so go for seed investments to build and test your idea. The people in the very beginning um, who give you guidance, who help you in preparing your strategy, they are also very important. So to actually make someone give you their time in the very beginning when the idea is very raw, and the solution is in the very beginning stages, so that is also very important. So um, you know but they will not be giving you a huge amount of time, because they might not be very confident that yes, this idea or the solution they are providing will actually solve the problem or not. So in the very beginning, just go for small investments, maybe intellectual, maybe money wise, and then try to build and test the solution and see if it actually works. So when we say build and test the solution, does not mean the complete solution, but at least the core part of the solution, which can give you motivation that I'm sorry, which can give you motivation that yes, this the track on which we are moving is the right track. Um, Once you are done with this, then seek for investments to replicate your idea, or to or to develop the next phases of your idea. So this is what I wanted to talk with you all today, starting with the need for a product, how to identify problems by from your own experiences, not by looking outside that what kind of problems people are facing. It's important to look inside and understand if I have experience in one in one sector of the industry, I might not be able to solve problems from some other sector which I have never experienced, when I've never experienced those problems. So once you identify a problem, you identify your niche market, a set of people for whom you're building that solution, then select technology, and try to see some pre-built solutions, and also make sure that you manage your source code and you use some project management tools. And once you are at a stage wherein uh, you are ready to get some kind of investments, maybe intellectual or monetary investments, go for it, and understand that you need to be able to pitch your idea to those investors or to those people who can help you with the intellectual kind of investment. And the time taken to explain them the whole idea should be less than 60 seconds, and you need to practice this. So having talked about all these things, in the end I would like to share one very important learning which we got when we were preparing our own 1 minute pitch, which we would have then you know um, used to with all the visitors at the conference. So during our research and during our uh, interaction with the people, experienced people, when we asked them that how to exactly present the idea in such small time to the visitors, so we were told a three-step approach. The first step was that they said that you need to start with some questions. So you need to ask the other person some kind of questions which will set the whole context of the problem. So maybe if I talk about the education institutes, so if you need a software for the admission department, so the questions would be that uh, um, how long it takes for, or how much effort it takes for the admission department when they are in the process of admissions using maybe paperwork, or that these kind of problems they are facing. And so that kind of questions have to be prepared. So in 60 seconds pitch, the first thing is that you have to prepare. If you are taking your idea to somebody for investments, you have to first start with some questions, maybe two or three, not more than that, which can help the other person understand understand the problem. Second step, you have to make that person visualize that if you would have been in this situation, then you would have faced the same problems, then what you would have done. So visualization is the second step. And then we were told that at the third step, you need to present that when we faced such problems, we thought of this solution, and this is what we are doing, or this is how we have built the solution. So this is just the very initial 60-second pitch, which sets the context for maybe a lengthy conversation with somebody. So once you take this understanding and apply it to your own teams in your colleges, or maybe share it with students, they will get benefited by by these steps. And just the most important part is that you explain it to them, that they need to understand their solution properly, so that they can present it to the investors or to the higher authorities in a manner that they can understand it very easily. So with this, I would conclude this talk. Thank you for listening, and in case you have any questions, so please send them across. Do I need to ask them?
Any query from GSS Noida? Would you like to give any feedback? मैम आप बताइए आप जवाब दीजिए Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma'am.
Sir, this is a question for you. So, what are the expected problems while tapping a niche market?
Ma'am, I could not understand the question. Can you please repeat this?
You talked about niche markets, understanding the niche market, and because the niche market is that when we focus on specific problems and try to answer those problems of a particular area of people, specific people. So I only wanted to know what are the problems, expected problems which one faces, say an organization, a person faces while tapping a niche market.
Okay, समझ आया exactly.
What about
Maybe I can be closer to that speaker.
मैम जो आपके हाथ में माइक है ना उसको मत यूज कीजिए, जस्ट सिस्टम का माइक यूज कीजिए.
Hello?
यस मैम.
Am I audible, sir, now?
यस मैम.
Yes, ma'am.
I only wanted to ask you what are the expected problems while tapping a niche market.
So what are the problems while tapping?
Yes, sir.
Um, Ma'am, I would give you two, three of my experiences. For exactly answering this questions, I think that will help you understand my viewpoint. One of the first problems and the major problem is uh, that the problem which you are trying to solve, the audience for which that solution is being developed might not be ready to accept that solution. So to give an example, like um, in my hometown, majority of the tuition centers or uh, competitive exam preparation centers, so they do their work in most of the times in just offline mode. So if we sit and think of a very good software which might help them in their day-to-day activities, they are not ready to use that kind of software because they feel that an additional effort is involved. So maybe one of the first problem is that the audience is not ready to accept that solution. So maybe the time is not right, maybe they are not mentally prepared for that kind of a solution, maybe the technology which is required for accepting that solution is not present with them. So these are some of the major reasons they might not want to use the solution. But one of the major problems I have seen, and also during the conference, which many of the new startups when we were discussing with each other, we felt that um, sometimes the solution which is being developed, it actually becomes so tedious to use it that although it solves the problem, the time it consumes in giving a solution, the time taken to just use that whole application is actually not something which motivates the user to use it. So to give an example, let's say some outside company comes to your college with a solution that they have some kind of an online education product, and they ask you for some time from your timetable so that the students can use that kind of a solution. So it might be difficult for an educational institute to adjust their timetable and come up with that time slot. So maybe in this approach, you people might not be motivated enough to use that solution. Maybe it might be a very good solution also, but your time might not permit. So there can be many problems, but the acceptance, the readiness of the audience, the readiness of the technology, these are some of the some of the reasons that the audience or that niche market might not be able to accept your solution, although the problem might be existing, but they might not be able to accept the solution which we are providing. So I hope this answers the question to some extent. Ma'am, if you have a follow-up question, please.
हेलो सर, मुझे पूछना था कि अगर स्टार्टअप आइडिया है तो इन्वेस्टर के पास कैसे अप्रोच करें?
Sir, the investors are not interested in, let's say, just the idea. From my experience, when I met the investors, they said that mere idea is not something that motivates them to put their money into it. So maybe if you just have an idea, so it's better to go to some angel investors, because angel investors are the people who give you small amount of small amounts, so that you can at least start building the solution. But if you can, the best way to approach an investor and motivate them to invest in your idea is that you first uh, build a small prototype. You build a small prototype of your idea, of the solution which you are providing, and then test it with a small set of audience, so which we call as a pilot a program. So once you have results from that pilot program, and you can actually show them to some investor and tell them that this was the problem, this is how we solved it, this is how we tested it, and these are the results, and we feel very motivated that yes, this solution will be accepted by our whole niche market, then they might be very happy to invest. I'll give an example here. Sachin Bansal, who is the chairman of the Flipkart, he was at the conference, and he shared some of his experience with us, and he said that he said, in my company we have given enough privilege to all people, that if they have some ideas, they can come up with an idea. So he said that one of the interns, some MBA intern, he came up to him and he said that we should have our own delivery pipeline, so we should not be depending on some other courier companies to deliver our products. This way, he said, we can give better service, timely service, and this will help us get good feedback from the market. And Sachin Bansal said, we told him that in case you want to try it, we give you all the power, you can go and try it, get us some results, some data, and then we will decide. So that in turn, he just went out, took 4 of the Domino's pizza delivery boys, created a team, and in that city, they started distributing started sending these products to people who have ordered through their own delivery pipeline. And after a few months, that same intern came up to the management and said that these are the results. The data shows that these people, they are more happy, and we are getting good reviews from them. The management was then so happy with that data that they decided to have that formula implemented across 17 cities. If I remember correctly, he said we implemented it across 17 cities. So today, when you see e-cart, these delivery people who are carrying bags, they have e-cart written on those bags. This is the delivery pipeline by Flipkart, and it's their own delivery pipeline using which they are able to deliver on time and also get good reviews. So mere idea might not help or might not motivate an investor to invest, but some test results, some kind of some small solution when tested with a pilot group, and those results can then motivate them to invest in the idea. I hope this answers the question. सर आपने पूछा कुछ, मुझे लगता है वो समझ नहीं आया.
जैसे आगे No problem.
आपको उनका थोड़ा सुनाई दिया था क्या इन्होंने बोला? अच्छा 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 अच्छा।
Any other question at your side?
Yes,
Yes,
no.
Noida. Any other question from your side?
Hello?
हाँ हाँ नहीं
Uh,
नहीं
yeah,
यस मैम.
over, sir. Questions are over. Thank you.
अच्छा.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Any query from GWPC Sangane?
So, as we know that a niche market have very few buyers. So, sir, how can we make our product cost effective then?
Uh, Ma'am, when you say niche market has very small number of buyers, so what do you exactly mean by this?
So, as I understand what a niche market is, that it is a very different market. It's different from mass market.
Uh-huh.
So, I took it as that we have few buyers in niche markets. Maybe, sir, you can correct my question if I'm wrong.
Ma'am, what you are saying is actually correct from your viewpoint, because this is what we also thought, that this is what a niche market is. But niche market is actually, from my current understanding, is that group of people which actually need that solution. So it's not an elite market, so it's not a market that has more buying capacity or are more equipped with the technology or tools for using your product. So it is that small group, or it may be a small or a large group, which actually has those problems, and they need solutions to this. Like when we were in Bangalore for this conference, so we used the Uber app very extensively for ordering cabs, the Uber Uber app for ordering the cabs. And we noticed that when we were standing there at the gate waiting for the cab, everybody else who was standing there was using the same app, and ordering some cabs so that they can move out of that location. So whole day this app was being used. So if we talk about this particular app, so they have a niche market, means that those people who have phones and understand how to use applications and have internet access, and they know that this is how we can use the application to order cabs. So this is then becomes their niche market. But now they also know that there are many different players trying to tap that market. So there might be Ola cab, you know Ola app might be a competitor for them, Uber, and then Taxi for Sure, all these apps. So if a niche market is there, they will be using the solution you are providing. And if you say that there are few buyers or few users in that niche market, then actually the niche market which you are targeting is not the niche market. Those people who are actually using that solution then becomes the niche market. Or let's say those people might not be getting uh, an understanding of the product, of the solution. So some kind of marketing might help in tapping that complete market. But the whole idea of what I'm trying to say is that the solution, when developed for that market, will be used by them either through the marketing effort, or by letting them know that the solution exists. But if they are not uh, using that solution, even after all the marketing efforts, even after all kind of other efforts, then it means that maybe they don't need a solution for it, and maybe that was then not the uh, you know uh, uh, that was not the kind of market which we would have kept in mind when building that solution. So if this answers your question, or if you have something else for this.
No, sir. Thank you so much. I've got a better understanding of niche market now.
Right, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Ji.
So no question from our side.
All right, thank you.
Vidya Bhavan College.
Has he done? All right, thank you everybody for listening, and I hope maybe sometime in future I'll be interacting with you all again. Thank you so much.